it's Kayla. This week we are, also excuse me, I'm very tired and I'm trying hard to speak clearly and make sense. A lot of you should understand that, I think. This week we're looking at statistical thinking with this interesting example of the Old Faithful geyser, and I think just like the general things behind why this example is so good is that it takes really complex processes and phenomena in nature, and that could also be applied to society, in how varying the data is, that we're not going to see the same thing every day. We're not going to see the same thing in every set of data or different kinds of populations, but that we can use this wide set of data to get numbers and figures that are helpful to us to predict what's going to happen, to understand the changes over time, and to make conclusions from that, which I think is a good process. I mean, I guess it connects to this larger topic that we have been discussing of context versus the mathematical concepts isolated from context, and you can't really isolate them, but both are really important to understand. So this is a good example to bring all of these out and collecting the data over time and having students use graphs and the data set numerically to come to an understanding of what we need to make predictions and what we need to make really strong analyses of what's going on with this geyser and how often it erupts. I like the summarized list of the different components of statistical thinking, which I think is much different from how we might approach statistics before we really learn it, focusing more on the central tendencies instead of all these other aspects of it, the variation, the purpose of data, the relationship between the real systems and statistical systems, and how we integrate that, patterns. I mean, there's a lot more than just, I guess, what we initially think of. And then finally, the set of questions at the end are very useful to me in thinking about what critical questions we can work through in any of our lessons, and kind of use the questions to guide a progression in thinking until we get answers. Students all get answers that are really helpful for them to root this math in something tangible, and something that can make connections to broader things that they already know about or provoke new questions and spark curiosity, which statistics is really good for. That's it. Curious to hear what you think.